Good morning, YouTube. Tire Metalhead Weatherman here. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Hopefully, you guys have made it through, and you guys are warm right now. It's cold where I live. I'm actually going to pull up the taskbar so you can see the temperature right now. And keep in mind, this is in Atlanta, Georgia. Temperature is 7 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Wind chill is below zero. Wind chill warning is still in effect, and we have a wind chill advisory that spans through Sunday in our region alone. And this is a lot of the case for most of the eastern half of the country. Most of these hard freeze watches, warnings, wind chill advisories, and warnings, they are still in effect all the way up until early Sunday morning, which will be Christmas Day, which is also going to be what we're talking about in this video, is the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecast. Meant to do this yesterday, but I actually was a little bit sick. I've gotten over it quickly, thankfully, so I'm back in action here. If I still sound a little stuffy, just let you know I'm not quite at the end, but I'm close. Anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at what the current picture looks like right now. Here's Winter Storm Elliott north of the border, still spinning and still pushing winds onshore, which is causing a lake effect snow event, and thus all these regions over here, especially towards central Michigan, towards Buffalo, New York, off of Lake Erie, etc. These guys are actually under blizzard warnings because the storm has actually deepened more as it's gone further to the north. In fact, there was actually a pretty recent mesoscale discussion over towards Buffalo, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that here. Basically, it's highlighting blizzard conditions and snowfall rates around 2 inches per hour expected to persist as there's a big snow band that's rolling through that region right now. So any of you that are possibly in Buffalo, just hang in there for around the Buffalo area. Just hang in there for a while. This isn't going to be going on for too much longer. So eventually, I think by Sunday, you guys will start to be on the tail end of it. If we look at our snowfall analysis over the last 72 hours, let's go ahead and take a look at everything. Large number of areas are sitting at 2 to 4 inches for sure. Oops, didn't mean to move that far out, but between 2 to 4 inches is the main main story for most people around the Midwest. To the west of the Great Lakes, it's similar, but once we start getting over towards Minnesota, Minneapolis in particular, that's when we start to get into that 6-inch range. And of course, the big totals are just off the Great Lakes here. This is where we're looking at about 12 to 18 inches of snow that's fallen within the last 72 hours. This is not counting the snow that's falling right now. We can still see other areas where we're sitting at about 8 to 12 inches. And of course, our bullseye is just off of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. So let's move this onward to the models here. We're going to get a time frame on when those wind chills really will start to relax a little bit over the next couple of days. These wind chills are still pretty brutal right now. We aren't seeing the minus 50s anymore like we were earlier, which is great news. But we're still dealing with some nasty wind chills. In fact, it's almost not until the afternoon where my area even will have a wind chill above zero. And over towards the northern tier states, we're still sitting around negative 25 to negative 30 for some. And it's not till tomorrow afternoon, I think, where some of the Midwest will actually start to have wind chills that are about average. And then those negative wind chills are starting to diminish just ever so slightly. The day after Christmas, we will have to be watching a little Alberta Clipper system that rolls through here. May bring some additional snowfall towards the Ohio Valley, parts of the Tennessee Valley, maybe the Northeast, but I don't think we can expect too much out of that. These Clipper systems are not known for having a lot of moisture, and they usually fizzle out really fast. Let's go ahead and look at the reflectivity here. Again, here is Elliott causing his problems for the Great Lakes region. You can kind of see just with these isobars just how strong the system is, and the flow of the flow of the winds going in the counterclockwise direction. Roll this along, and we'll see it, and we'll see those snow bands just continuing to push off of those lakes inland and increasing the snowfall totals. And it's not really until the early morning hours of Christmas where that will start to dwindle a bit. And then here's our Alberta clipper here coming into the picture. Also, I do see a little bit of a potential for ice, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. But this push is pretty far south, but this is the end of the model run. Really, I think as far as this system goes, it'll be a quick burst of snow. You might see about an inch in some of these areas, but beyond that, I wouldn't expect any major accumulation, which I'm sure some people might be happy about. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at what our snowfall and ice totals could potentially be. And this is what we're dealing with this is what we're dealing with by the end of this model run here. We're going to actually go ahead and compare the models too. Okay, so this is what the NAM is looking like here. When that next clipper system comes in, I'm thinking mainly we're going to see scattered areas of about maybe 2 to 4 inches. Some places could see a little bit higher totals, maybe 5, close to 6. But this is, of course, when that clipper system will be strongest, when it's up here. Once we get down here, a lot of scattered areas of an inch or less. There is a little small region here where we could see scattered pockets of about 2 to 3, maybe even 4 inches. But beyond that, the further we get inland, the weaker the storm gets, and mainly it's just flurries for right now. Of course, by the next model run, we'll probably be able to see what happens around this region after that point. We'll take a look at the ice potential here. Oops, I meant to actually look at the other models here. And for the most part, there's pretty much complete agreement between them in regards to the snowfall totals. Canadian's a little bit more aggressive with this, but I'm not really on board with that, to be honest. I don't think that low is going to get strong enough. It's definitely not robust by any stretch. But that being said, let's go ahead and roll on to the ice now. So any potential for ice is going to be right here around Missouri and parts of Kansas. It looks like potential is there for maybe 1/10 of an inch ice, which is very much problematic. At the very least, it'll make road travel a lot more difficult. This could be enough to knock out power, but I doubt it. These areas are pretty well equipped for it, so I'm not too concerned with that. But other than that, there's really not much going on here. Maybe towards the valleys of the northwest as well, we could be seeing a little bit of ice here and there. Towards the higher elevations, we could see about 1/4 inch or more ice, but that's nothing out of the ordinary for them. So, oops, just going all over the place when it comes to the mod. Oh wow, hit the wrong button. Euro's a little less aggressive with it compared to the short range NAM. And then the Canadian, a little more aggressive towards the northwest, but over here it's a little bit more passive as well. Roll this to the GFS. A little lighter on the ice here. Really aggressive in the northwest, and get to the traditional NAM, which will be an 84-hour run, and we'll see slightly more passive on the ice, which is always good news. And then when we go to the blend of models here, the blend of models, I think, in my honest opinion, is probably the most realistic. I think that for the most part, we're not going to be concerned with too much ice. There could be a small pocket where we get close to 1/10 of an inch, but beyond that, around these regions here in the northwest, nothing too far out of the ordinary. There could be a small pocket where you get up to about 1/4 inch ice, which could cause problems for power, but if there's anybody that's well equipped for that, it's these guys. But anyway, I think that's the end of the video here. This has been the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, of course, drop me a like, especially considering I'm feeling like absolute crap right now. But yeah, hopefully you guys have stayed warm and you've made it through without any issue. This has been Metalhead Weatherman. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, happy holidays and have a good one.